right, so who's going to introduce it?
Shit, what's the name of the podcast?
It's Speak Easy. Right?
Welcome to the Speakeasy Podcast. I'm Simon Swift. I got 2 buttons. I need y'all to vote to see if I should undo 3. This is Langston. This is Millie Rock. And today we're going to be talking about a little more serious topics, some finances, Cardi B's dirty ass, and y'all said I could open the pot. Y'all said I could open the pot.
Don't say she's dirty.
No, I don't think she's dirty. Just a little muddy. So,
She had to get her lick back.
you told me. What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, Millie Rock.
I feel some shade.
No shade. Let's talk about finance first. Then we'll get to the salacious stuff.
All right.
I wanted to know. I had asked Langston a while back. I've always had. I'm a free spirit. Self-control ain't my best quality. You know, I'm wise. I'm very handsome.
Who told you that?
My mama, nigga. That's the told. You don't agree with my mama? Did she? Mama, get in the comments. So, but I live day to day. I've always said certain jobs and certain careers, I might have had allowed me to turn the dollar pretty easily. Like I could always make it today, but I'll spend it today. And so when I got into real estate, it was the first time that I was getting a nice little bit of money. So I look at my friends who start businesses and have things, and I go, well, how do you maintain? How do y'all? So I wanted to know. I know Langston seems to always be financially straight, and I think people think we all are. Mm-hmm. But just some of the misconceptions on how we spend. How do you spend? What'd you do with your first check? When you got your first check, how big was it, and would you spend it on?
I'm glad you said misconceptions.
Correct.
Because it is a misconception that I'm always straight.
Right.
I'm not always straight.
Right.
Like this month, I don't have a closing at all. Unless, today is the 30th.
Okay.
I don't have a closing at all for
Right.
this month, which means that I'm pulling from, the previous month.
Mm-hmm.
I think perception does create reality.
Mm-hmm.
The perception that you have of me is that I'm always straight.
All right.
I do want my reality to always be straight,
right.
or above, that. But it is definitely a misconception that realtors are always rolling in money,
Mm-hmm.
rolling in dough, because that's just not the case. Closings are few and far between. Even if you have a scheduled closing, like I know how to budget.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like budgeting just because it's just not my forte.
Right.
I don't like keeping up with a whole bunch of details and stuff like that. It overwhelms me. But I know how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, like, even if you are budgeting, you basically count your eggs before they hatch, within real estate.
Okay.
Because you can't depend on this closing actually happening.
Do you have
Buyers can walk
do you have
away,
another?
Sellers can move out of the,
You got another job? You had
No, I
nothing.
don't.
You just real estate strictly.
It's strictly real estate.
Okay.
Strictly real estate. Now, before I did go real estate full time, I was also teaching. So, I did have, a consistent check coming in and things like that. But real estate is just far and few between.
Mm-hmm.
But, when you do get a check, you can kind of suffice for a little while.
When you crack a $20,000 check.
Well, I mean, that's gonna depend on, whatever splits y'all worked out.
All right. But yeah.
But, needless to say, yeah, I mean, it can definitely be a worthwhile career.
Millie, what about you? Do you work and also do real estate?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I have a full-time W-2 paying job in addition to the real estate job. So thankfully, I still have a paycheck coming every 2 weeks,
Okay.
no matter what
Okay.
what happens in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I try to do is I make sure, obviously, my full-time income can take care of all my house note and whatever bills, kids, etc. And then when I get my real estate check, I either use it to either pay down debts that I have or, savings.
Have you were y'all fiscally responsible before real estate? Like high school? Did you?
No.
No?
For me, I left high school at 17. I left for college at age 17.
Okay.
So I went straight into college. In college, I did sports, so I got a sports stipend.
Okay.
So I was always taken care of in that regard. And then right after that, right before even I finished college, I got married. So then I had a husband who was a real big budgeter and financial savvy, so he took care of a lot of the bills and things like that. So I never really learned how to manage my budget and to
how about now?
look at things financially. So it did take me a few years after being separated from him to learn how to manage my money and figure it all out. That's why I say when I get my checks and I try to pay down debts that I've had, or just save money, because I'm trying to learn how to budget and make sure everything's good. And
That's
add
so
kids
interesting.
in college, I got a budget for them now, and I'm trying to teach them how to budget with the money that I give them. So I won't be that way. Growing up, my family, my mom and dad, they were very financially sound. So I never I didn't know what struggle was.
Right.
And then when I got separated, I learned what struggle was. And then I had to stop living like I was on that big 2-income household that I was used to, and come back to my one, which is a good one income, but if you have all the stuff that you're used to doing on 2 budgets, then you got to really come to reality.
Oh wow, that's just crazy misconception, because I immediately was like, oh, I'm a piece of shit, I don't know how to save, such and such and such, and I hear you say that. I mean, we're just like, okay, no, maybe they don't always have it together, because what I've realized that we all know my problem is discipline, strictly discipline. When I'm down, I make a budget. And a plan. Now pull out that book, get a notebook, put it in there, put that budget down, put my plan down. My 3-month plan happens in a month. Everything goes right. As soon as I'm good, I don't go back to the budget anymore. Everybody knows how to budget, and budgets work. But I fail to continue to budget. And just keep that track. And I feel like some people naturally have it. Maybe y'all know them, and maybe we need to ask them.
Another thing I did was I got the Rocket Money app.
Okay.
So it actually does your budget for you. So you link it to your bank accounts, and if you have credit cards and things like that, and then it reviews your bank account, so it sees everything that you're spending. And so it tells you how you got a check coming in 12 days, but you got these bills
coming in. Right.
So really, like every day, I look at Rocket Money and I'm like, okay, what's coming out? Because it learns it after a few months, and so then it'll tell you, like at the end of when you wrap up your month, it's like, okay, so this is what you spend all your money on.
How you looking right now? What it look like? Damn, you need to borrow something?
No, you can see how much I've spent this month. Yeah, so.
On what?
Let me see what it looks like.
Look at that. What?
God,
shit.
So that kind of snaps you into reality.
Did you go buy a little house or something?
No, I did.
Really?
You bought a tiny house. That's what you did.
Can I see last month? Let me see last month.
You bought a car. You bought a whole car cash.
4,000 less. What are you
I don't know what
making?
happened
Where do you
this
work?
month.
Where do you work?
I didn't look at it.
Cut the camera off. Wait, we need to. What the fuck? Excuse me.
I thought I spent a lot on a monthly basis.
But that's not just frivolous spending.
Hey, brothers, any of y'all want to get in the comments? Hey, check it out. Do it now.
She's single too.
No, I'm not single. I'm not single.
Which could lead to the car.
Can we cut the camera? Cut the camera.
So what I learned to do, what I had to do was at our so I run a staging business also, so I get a salary, and so that comes in no matter what. So one thing I had to do is I don't work as much. I have a lot of free time, but it's feast of famine. We'll get busy some months, and then I might be off for 2 months. So I said, first I put in my mindset, I'm retired on a fixed income. This is what I got to work with. And then when I get a check from real estate that's pretty decent, then I go take a trip. But anyway, we have an accountant at our office. And so I have the luxury of having her send out payments. So my rent or mortgage, I don't have mortgage, I'm capping. Rent sent out to them first before the month. Child support is sent from them. I'm trying to get on levelized billing. I just got on Facebook and asked people whether
I saw that.
Yeah, that's
some
why.
people were saying yes and some
People were saying no. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do it because they said 120.
You'll see that they'll.
It just depends on
they get over on you real fast.
So like for me, I do levelized billing on my gas bill, but not on my electric bill.
So I want them to send them $120 a month, send them $100 a month.
So at least you know
It's
that
always
that's always
paid,
going on.
right.
It's always a little better when you can set it and forget it.
Yep.
Yes.
In my personal opinion.
Yes, me
You
too.
know?
I think
but
so.
if I have to look at it, I'm cringing. I'm getting a little down because I'm transferring money here and transferring there and then spending out this and spending out that. And honestly, it's a part of not really being financially responsible.
Right.
That's just the truth of it.
Right.
You know, we don't want to be that type of responsible.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is as well, like we've all mentioned budget. That term has come up at least 8 or 9 times since we've been on these last 10 minutes, right? I've learned that it's a little better to, instead of doing a budget, do a spending plan. And it's just switching in
Spending plan.
a spending plan.
Okay, what's the difference?
When you spend, obviously, you know, it's a little more freeing, right? Than budgeting. Budgeting is more
Holding back.
restricting,
Okay,
right?
got it.
It's the same thing,
But
but the spending plan just makes you feel a little more free. Like, so I'm not sure if you all familiar with Dave Ramsey. I like Dave to a degree. I like a lot of his principles to a degree, but I also feel that they're a bit dated. You know, using money, cash is king, that type of thing, and creating an envelope system where essentially you put all of your spending plan inside of an envelope system. So if, just to work with numbers, if you get $5,000 for the month and you're setting aside, you know, $1,500 for rent or mortgage or whatever, then that $1,500 goes into this envelope over here, right? And then, you know, whatever else you got, entertainment budget, you know, restaurants and, you know, so forth, so on. And then whatever you have remaining, essentially you put towards your debts. And you continue to roll your debts over. You know, if you don't use a certain amount from your entertainment envelope, then you put that towards your debts and just continue to snowball that thing.
Right.
You know, you pay off your lowest debt first, and then
Roll
that
that
frees
over
you
to the
up.
next.
Continue to pay whatever you were paying on that lower debt, roll it to your next, you know, lowest or highest debt.
Right.
And you just continue to roll the thing over, of course, until you're actually done with your debts. You know?
Right.
But being debt free obviously is extremely freeing. This past year was really the first year that I've actually had to where I had debt. Like, and I was just like, damn, how am I gonna knock this out?
Yeah.
And being, you know, a realtor, and being that my checks are sometimes few and far between,
Right.
I'm oftentimes, like I said, borrowing from the previous check or previous
right,
months or so
right.
in order to pay off this. So
Right.
yeah, I may have a good one coming up, but it's already spent.
Is that one of the things that you
It's
wish
already
somebody
spent.
would have told you before you started this whole thing? Like,
So absolutely, yes. I remember my first my first commission check, because as a realtor, you are 100% dependent on commissions.
right.
So if a person doesn't perform, if the buyer steps out,
Right.
if the seller,
Right.
you know, whatever
Right.
happens, like you just don't get anything.
What Andre say? If you don't move your feet, then we don't eat. So we like neck to neck.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. We didn't came a long way like those slim ass cigarettes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
And
nigga cold.
that's very correct.
Yeah.
I've definitely had some great months. I've definitely had some great months in which I was just up. I was just like, damn, I got more
Rolling down the strip on.
than a pretty decent salary from this month. But then, you know, I've had multiple months in where
Yeah.
Nothing.
it was like nothing.
Crickets.
You know?
Right.
So my very first check though, I started off full time. And then I realized I didn't need to be full time. I started off full time in real
Got my
estate.
legs out. I'm gonna pull it down. Hoochie daddies is hoochie
At the
daddies.
time, I was married, but we were going through, so, you know, it was really like I'm trying to figure this whole life thing out now, right? And so the very first client I had was a friend. And I was fortunate enough to get that first client within the first 3 months of me being a realtor. Oftentimes it doesn't happen for
Like
people
that.
that quickly,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And not only was I fortunate enough to have them as a client, but they were buying a really, you know, nice home at the time. At the time, I think it was this was 2016, 17.
That's a term for that. I
So
don't know what that
the home was about $350,000 or so.
Right.
So it was a pretty nice home.
I kind of fell in the same situation with that. The lady who runs the business. She buys and sells home. My first sale was.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
Real
Sorry.
quick.
Sorry.
So that first sale, like I said, came within 3 months. We got towards closing, and 2 days before closing, house completely flooded. Completely flooded. Like my friend called me, he was like, "Hey man, you might want to get over here." I was like, "What's going on?" He was like, "The house flooded. It's summertime." I'm like, "It ain't rained. What are you talking about?" He was like, "Dude, the house is flooded." He showed me a picture, and I get over there, and there's literally water running off the side of the house.
Oh shit!
Off the
Coming
side
out
of the
of
brick,
the inside of
coming
the
from upstairs, running off the side of the house.
outside.
I look into the window, and ceiling is caved in, and it's just water gushing down and stuff. And I'm like, "Oh my damn, what the hell?" And fortunately, I was representing the buyer, because I can't imagine representing the seller and some shit like that.
Right.
Because you can't just say my bad or whatever, But fortunately, I was representing the buyer. I called the listing agent up. I didn't know what to do. It was my first transaction. Needless to say, we ended up closing that deal. We closed that deal, but we didn't close until a whole 9 months later.
Oh my goodness.
Because what the buyer wanted to do was like, "Hey, you know what? We can still work this out. Whatever insurance check y'all gonna get, just fork it over, whatever. We'll do the remodel or whatever." They didn't want to do that. They wanted to put it back to the original state, which was like the 90s or something like that.
Right.
And so they did that, and literally the buyers went in, tore everything right back out. But it ended up closing like 9 months later. I didn't have a check in between that
Were
time.
you still a school teacher at that time?
No. Before that, like I didn't become a school teacher until like 2019.
Okay.
So I was a realtor before, all of that.
So what did you do during that time for income?
Odds and ends. I was promoting events at the time, doing my comedy shows and stuff. But I also started working a marketing job with a dental company. So it was just odds and ends. It was my first time without like consistency. But I will say that lack of definitely built a lot of character within. And that first check, I want to say it was roughly about 9,000, something like that. Would have been good at the time when I was supposed to get paid, but it's far and few between.
But Millie, you kept a job the whole time. So real estate.
But that's always not, it still can fool you, because when you get your real estate check, you're like, all right, well with this check I can just go shopping, go on vacation and things like that, because I'm still get paid.
Right.
But in actuality, going through it throughout the years, the few years I've been a realtor, I'm like, okay, no, I'm gonna handle big stuff
first
that I need to do, as far as, like I said, debt reduction, or if I need to do some things in the house that I've been wanting to do, remodel, do this and that, I do that. And then if I have something left, then I might go buy myself something or do something.
When I got my nice size check, I had a form of survivor's remorse. So like anything that my kids didn't do before, hey, everybody, we're going to Disney World first. Let's go do that first. My son is going to college, going to Arizona State. We don't have tuition scholarships. Okay, here we go, let's do that. And so it kind of soothed me to let me know that we were doing, but then after a while I had to go, okay, let's back up, because my expenses went up with more money I started making.
Yeah.
So like
More
I started
money, more
more money, so I started
Absolutely.
buying
Very true.
different things. Like he was going to school, all of a sudden everybody's getting older. Now that I can do it, I seem to want to do it. And I wonder if I couldn't, how would we, but that's an if thing. But I did start to see my lifestyle. I didn't stunt, I didn't do anything like that, but I did see more. What do you mean? What are you saying? I don't stunt.
You be stunting, man.
Wow. What?
The drop top Range Rover, bro.
The drop top was InvestFest. I went to for my mom.
It was stunting.
It was
Number
for my.
one
Well, I did tell my kids I wasn't coming back. I wasn't coming back. I said I wasn't coming back, but and that was a loner too. But I
I've
started.
never seen the drop top Range Rover, because FYI. So
I can't say I have.
But they only made them 1 year. It's
But
it's
you
only
understand.
1 year I got for
It's all good. It's all good.
I rode
brother.
that motherfucker all through ATM.
As long as you know what you're doing.
right.
And you're not asking other
The people
for the
for it.
money.
Right.
Then do what you need to. But like I said, I've definitely had some great months. My debt was actually followed by the great months, though. That's what's so weird about it, because so my first year that I went full time, I was killing it. Like the first 5 months, I want to say I had like 5.5 million in sales, and like by May.
Listen,
May of that
for
year.
context, most people don't hit 5.5 in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That takes a long time for he been slanging wood with his houses. So that
Right.
shit probably was, you said, right? You heard that too?
I had
You
like
heard that too?
5.5 million in sales by May. And so I want to say like in May, I had like a $60,000 month. And then like in June, I had like about a $30,000 or $40,000 month, something like that. And I was like, damn, I done cleared about 100 stacks in the last 3 months.
3 months, right.
So I went on a couple trips.
I went to Hawaii.
I took my daughter on Disney World cruise.
I'm out.
You know, did a couple other things, right? And I'm thinking the whole time, like, yeah, I'm good. I got it figured out now, man. That second half of the year,
Nothing.
struggling.
You acquired
and
debt.
that's when interest rates changed and stuff as well. You know, stuff started going up, you know, extremely. And like, I want to say I finished that year with 7.2, I think. So I sold like $2 million
Right.
for the remainder of the year.
Right.
Like, that was a dramatic change. And that led over into the following year.
Okay.
Because the sales and stuff was few and far between.
Man, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Y'all again. And I'm just, my experience is a little different, but you're saying so 2.2 the end of the year. Now, sometimes I've heard myself say this ridiculous ass, dumbass shit where we can't say that, if it's a check coming and say the check on that house is maybe $3,000 to $5,000. And somebody's talking to you and say, but I'm only gonna make $5,000. Do y'all find yourself saying I'm only gonna make 5,000? No.
I've learned to be thankful for everything.
But you're thankful for it, but do you ever catch yourself going, it's only, you just want the 20s? No?
I always find myself explaining, like, because I do think that it's good for a client to know where the money is going. Because most people, again, a misconception is whatever agreement you work out with the seller, you know, if you are marketing to list their home, whatever agreement you're working out with them, a lot of people think that full agreement is coming to
Right.
you.
Right,
And
it's not.
It's not. Oftentimes, it's split. You know.
Not over
here. And you know, from that, of course, there's a certain percentage or so that may go. Well, it actually goes back to the brokerage first. Then the brokerage takes a percentage off the top, and then you have your own expenses from marketing. And I don't think people really keep that in mind as well. Like each transaction, you have a ton of different marketing expenses. In addition to that, you have all of your licensing fees and things like that. So it's not, this isn't a career for somebody that doesn't
budget.
Right.
see, like, I got to spend some money to make some money.
Right.
It's not that type of career. You're gonna have to spend money to make some money in this career. You're gonna have to spend some time in order to make some money in this career.
But are you making some money?
You're gonna have to rub elbows in
Are you
order
making
to make
money?
money in this career.
But we sound sad, but you do all
No,
right.
yeah, for sure.
You're
But
all right, right?
like he said, it's a lot of stuff that people don't know behind the scenes, or they don't see that we have to do before we get to that last check.
Right.
And that's even if the deal goes through.
If the deal goes through.
So yeah, like
I got one
I
right
definitely
now.
got I took photos of a property that I was supposed to have listed and haven't listed it. But I'm at a couple $100 for doing
I've spent
that. So it's
I've
like,
spent months
what do you do?
showing a house, showing a friend. Y'all know who y'all. I love y'all still. Happy birthday to you, baby. Motherfucker had me going out to Sherwood every day listening to that, showing the house
Yeah.
that they never would do any repairs or fix up on. Now I'm driving every day out here, every appointment. They wanted me to show it in person. And I lost, and you just got to take that on the chin. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, even with that then, and I don't know if this is a bit of a touchy subject right now due to the NAR regulations, but even with that, and I'm saying this because a lot of people don't see our value, you know, and they'll quickly tell you like, well, you know, you driving to Sherwood, you know, 1 or 2 times or 10 or 15 times isn't worth X amount, you know? And sometimes I'll feel a little like, damn, like, okay. So where do you assess your value? Where do you like truly look at, I'm doing all these different things for you to ensure that not only you have the home that you wanted or the funds from the home that you wanted to sell, but also in the period of time that you desired, and also educating you on what it actually means, and also connecting you with all of the right people, of course, because that connection is a motherfucker.
Right.
That connection means the difference between a buyer potentially spending, you know, a couple of $1,000s or a couple $100,000, I mean tens of $1,000s.
Right.
You know, so that connection is, all that value is a lot.
Right.
You know, do you ever find yourself kind of feeling like you just said to yourself something in regards to going out to Sherwood a couple of different times?
I was
like that?
I was so ecstatic that I was even doing this at first, right? That wasn't until later, and they were friends of mine, but I didn't think.
Friends get you.
I never thought that I would be in charge of contracts. I never thought I've had a sketchy past life. I had dollars before. I've been broke. I've been homeless. I've been on the gambit. I never thought that I was proud even to be in a position to somebody would trust me with this kind of stuff. But yes, in hindsight, it was a learning lesson. So what I did was from that on, they wouldn't make certain. First of all, they were living in the house that I was trying to sell. They wouldn't make little upgrades that I was asking them to because we did as is. And so after that experience, I come to my client and go, all right, we're gonna do as is, but as is doesn't mean get the fuck up, walk outside, and leave your drawers on the fucking floor. That means we're gonna put some paint where it ain't, we're gonna do a little bit, I'll come in, I'll put some flowers down, we're gonna sell this house. And so that allowed me to go, all right, here. I've had people who, a lot of friends coming to me, hey, so we want to get the house. Okay, now I'm comfortable with saying, do you have a pre-approval letter? Do you have proof of funds? Yeah. Well, my girl just got a check. Hey, okay, I need to see this or that to be able to move forward. So those experiences kind of gave me I found value in the experience and not so much like I was devalued. I was like, oh, it's some shit I didn't learn. Now I know the next time I do it, hey, as is doesn't mean as is. Right. If I'm selling your house. At this point, I ain't got to do it the way they're doing it. You know what I mean? So, I didn't have that. When I first got in the game, though, I thought I was hitting licks, and I thought it wasn't gonna last. I didn't think it was gonna be a career, for real. So I would spend it as it was a lick. It was like, shit, I'm gonna get you might not get another one. So 20 grand's out, 30 grand, we're out. You know, we're going, and then. After my 4th check, I'm like, oh no, this is a career. Let me act like a real estate agent. Sometimes we climb up, and we never plateau and become who we're supposed to be. Like we go to the next level too quick. And I say, hold on, before I become an investor, let me be a real estate agent for a year. And I was like, oh, I have a career now. Oh, I'm taken seriously now. Right. And so I settled into it. So I started budgeting like a real estate agent. I started conducting all of those things as a professional, not just a nigga doing real estate, but somebody who's actually in this field. And so I had to learn from those people.
So for our listeners, what strategies do you use to manage income gaps? Specifically, if you are in an industry where you work strictly off of commissions, all right?
Or get paid once a month. I've heard a lot of people say it's hard to do that too.
You asking us or them?
Like the first of the month.
Listeners.
Only.
Yeah. Question for them.
Right.
But even with that, like when I do a spending plan, I try to work off of percentages. And so, I work off of 100% and I try to get that down as much as possible to 0%. And so, there's a certain percentage that, like I'll be honest with, even with this, there was a time where I felt bad. I'm like, golly, I need to tithe. I need to tithe. I need to tithe. But you're looking back like, how am I going to tithe? Like,
Right.
how am I going to figure all of this stuff out? You know, but you know, I'll set aside a certain percentage for marketing. You know, because you have to invest back into yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Or otherwise, after that fourth check, you ain't gonna have any more.
The money
checks,
yourself, right.
You know, so you gotta put it back a certain percentage for marketing. Obviously, when you're starting off, it's best to have at least 3 months of income just saved up for a rainy day, because you will inevitably have
Storms will come.
Did I say it right?
Inevitably.
This we know for sure. This we know for sure. Can you stand the
Anyway, what she said, you will have some gaps, and so you just have to figure, you know, out what a good percentage of whatever your income is that you can actually work off.
Man,
of.
fuck that. Hit the mall, man.
You know,
Get fresh. Get fresh. Because it gets complicated. It's super
it
complicated.
definitely gets
after a while.
complicated. Anytime you're working,
My
with numbers,
budget
for
gets
the most
thrown
part.
off by a candy bar. Like, I got all the thing, and then I want
Yeah.
to. That's the thing. The small things
So
will
you're the
fuck you
type
up.
that you like to see perfection as well, then, huh? You got ADHD,
ADHD, like it's
and I do as well.
Overthinking.
I overthink. I have a little OCD, so when
Right.
I don't see certain numbers or certain things line up correctly, I just say fuck
Fuck it. Remember,
And-
we talked about that the other day. A great
Yeah.
analogy. I want people to always get these little, great little stories, right? But having ADHD and overthinking is like being in a boat and you want to dock the boat to the shore, right? You want to get to the shore. When you overthink, you're trying to get as close as you can to the fucking shore as possible.
Knowing you can just really.
But really, you might be this far from the fucking shore. But an overthinker would be, I got to touch the shore before you get your ass up off the boat. You see what I'm saying? Like, we'll be like, I got to be perfectly close. And if not, you throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's all fucked up. So sometimes you're just close enough to be able to go ahead and do what you need to do. So I had to
Or
quit
in your
that.
analogy, you get too close to the shore, and now you can't you can't get the boat off of the shore anymore.
And again.
Because it's stuck in the sand.
Right.
You know,
Because you're too close to
you try to be too perfect
right.
with things.
And you can't. And
Yeah,
I'm damn sure not that.
I definitely relate.
I'm damn sure not.
You don't relate?
Millie's giving us to move on to the next topic,
Just thinking about
headway.
being on a boat now.
Why, you want to go on a boat?
She ain't never
Take a
been on
cruise?
boat. She ain't never been on
I've
a
been
boat.
on-
I've never
I've
taken
been
a
on
cruise.
yachts.
But I would like them to tell us too. Do
And
they
day cruises.
do they
Not
know?
long cruises.
Is there natural people out here who budget and do well,
I think
like,
many people budget now.
but naturally learned it from somewhere? Because my parents,
It's not something that we learned in school.
yeah, correct.
We didn't learn about taxes in school. We didn't really
That's what I
truly
think,
learn
your
about
taxes
budgeting in
at
school.
your checks.
Yeah, the
They don't take
taxes.
taxes out of your check, so you gotta keep that in mind.
I am so grateful to have found my CPA now. Shouts out to Performance Tax Group. Listen, last few years taxes been kicking my ass. Like, I think last year or year before last, I had like 18,000 that was due. And before that,
So
you know,
that's something that
it's
you
like-
gotta kind of sit to the side.
and
you
it's,
will have
it's
to
hard.
answer.
It's hard.
Yeah.
When somebody, when a check just goes to your account,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever it may be, and you're now told that you need to withhold like 30% of this check,
She like, man, what
and
the-
put it somewhere else.
Nigga,
please.
Like, hey, hold on, you need to give it to me the way that you want it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
go ahead, take it out right now.
Now,
Take it out before I see it.
Before I get to it.
Because now I got somewhere for it to go.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I got somewhere
Boy,
up
that
there
hurts.
on the
It
sand for it to
hurts.
go.
It does.
It
Definitely
hurts.
hurts. And I'm certain that there's people out there spending way more than me on taxes. But it hurts. And I can see how a lot of celebrities can get caught up in tax
Oh, yeah.
evasion.
Heck
For
yeah.
sure.
Heck yeah. Heck
So,
yeah.
I mean, speaking of
so
that-
the CPAs and stuff, some people can do it themselves. Some people, at the end of the day, I'm gonna try to hire professionals to do that for me. But then I've also heard a lot of celebrities say that's how they got fucked over
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
they didn't do it. But I definitely would like to learn some of that. I plan on making enough money
the
that
very
I can't even
least.
count that
Yeah.
shit.
At the very least, keep an eye on what's going in, and what's
Review-
coming in, and
Review
what's
your
going out.
paperwork.
Okay.
You may not know how to actually, do the taxes and everything else, but at the very least, keep an eye on what's going in, what's coming out. I mean, yeah, because at that point in time, you can then ask it questions, you know, at least to get explanation. But like after the fact, when it's all gone,
Right.
you know, which again is how people get caught up, you know,
Because
especially in tax evasion.
man, I had bought like 1,000 bottles of lube one time, and I can't find that shit nowhere, bro. I cannot find that shit nowhere. No, so I went
Was
from.
it laced with,
I think
was
it's
it
a
laced
Diddy's
with
house.
drugs?
Well, no, I had went from buying the gallon pumps. So they make the gallon pumps, like the pump kinds.
Easy
And
to
they make
just get
they
to.
make a 1 gallon, 5 gallon, and 20 gallon. But they quit delivering the 20 gallons, I guess, because they were too heavy. They're like this big. So I started getting the little bottles because they were like 99 cents.
the travel bottles.
Because they don't let you travel
Did you
with
put
it.
them inside of a plastic bag, Ziploc bag and stuff?
Okay, is that what you do?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Diddy gave you all the tips, man.
Did he got my shit?
Yeah, it's at his house.
Did he got my
It's
bottles?
But speaking of celebrities and tax evasion, though, so we can, you know, jump around on the subject real quick. So Cardi B and Offset, right? Mm-hmm. Cardi makes significantly more money than Offset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You think she gonna leave him high and dry?
She should.
Why?
For all he put her through.
What do you mean high and dry?
What means? I mean, who says that she ain't put
Well,
him
none
through
of us
anything?
know what happened with anything.
What is
So
high
are
and
you
dry?
saying
Yeah,
for all
but
that
I'm
he
just
put her
going
through?
by what said is basically she said that he had been, you know, cheating on her for the course of their relationship. She said this plenty times, even before this last baby, even before the last baby.
Question.
And so,
Did she stay?
Yes.
no, she left and she came
She left
back.
after the first time.
And she came back.
Okay, why?
She loved him. That's what, you know, that love is just.
I'm trying to
What they
Let
say about, you know, one time it's a mistake.
Yo,
two
one time
times-
shame on me, second
Yeah.
time shame. Well, first time shame on you, second time shame on me, third time it ain't gonna happen
What's that
again.
got to do with leaving him high and dry?
What is high
I'm
and
going
dry?
back to what
Does-
you said in regards to like.
Is he
okay,
gonna get some of her money or
You saying
something?
that she came back? Like, I mean, well, the very first reason you gave was because he had been cheating on her this entire time, and she knew.
He
And
has
she
his
said
own,
something
he has his
about
own
it.
money.
Is he
good
supposed to
for-
be getting some money from this woman? I've been asking this
Probably.
question.
I have no
Is that
idea.
how
He'll-
divorce
he'll
works?
prob-
I don't understand.
Yeah, if
Okay.
it'll be spousal
Shouldn't these
support.
people have that set up where you can't get this?
I'm
and that?
hoping so. I'm hoping her people
I think
said her money was
to
hers
leave what
and
they-
his was his.
Now, if there's infidelity, isn't that a part where you can't get it if,
If
you're
it was
cheating?
written that
Actually,
way.
Right.
Actually, no, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, if it was
Infidelity
written.
does not matter.
I heard they charged the person you cheated with.
Yeah, it depends.
some states.
On in celebrity status, is some of the documents. It depends on how it's written, like prenups.
Well,
and
if
things
you have a
like
prenup,
that.
yeah. But in regular day-to-day situations, and I found this out recently. Apparently, it doesn't matter. Like if I'm in a relationship and I cheated or whatever, and she makes more than me, and she files for divorce, I can get alimony from her regardless of whether I did it or
yeah,
not.
you can. Yeah.
I thought it was state by state, maybe. No? It's real?
I
It
found
might
that
be-
out.
it
I was
might
like,
be
damn,
state
that's
by
messed
state.
up.
Shit, y'all do y'all thing out there and shit. Keep on with it.
Yeah, but you know, rich people have it
Yeah.
finessed and written
Yeah.
differently than that.
Yeah.
I feel like they get what they.
Because if that's the case, I can go marry any rich man and then go cheat
It's
on him
been
and take his
happening.
money.
It's been happening like a
Women know how
motherfucker.
to gut punch a dude though.
That's happening.
Women be gut punching niggas like just sitting.
Just
right
don't
up
do
in
what
there.
you can't
With the
handle.
takeoff.
Like I don't know if that tweet was
This,
real or
I don't
not.
understand why men can do something all day and
Why
then
they
when
was-
a woman does something, y'all just
You
can't
say
breathe.
when a woman does something, as if women ain't been
doing
doing
it.
something
Get 'em.
the whole
Get
damn
'em.
time.
I'm just saying, I
Come
didn't,
on,
but
bro.
I'm not the one that said I'm getting gut punched. I'm saying that y'all
Well,
can't,
I'm admitting that
y'all
we get
can't
gut
take
punched.
what y'all dish.
We can't take what you let us see. Keep that shit hidden like you do. You do it very well. 'Cause
But-
when you fail as your
Difference
job
between
and your
cats and
job
dogs.
I'm
as
just
a
saying.
woman, the only job a woman
I'm
has
just saying.
in my life is to
Looking-
hide your infidelity.
looking on
That's it.
social
You ain't
media,
gotta cook, but hide
all the
the dick you
men
go
going
your
in
mouth.
on Cardi,
Please. I'm
saying
going on
she
Cardi.
a hoe, a house
I mean, but
rat,
the tweet came
all
out.
this
She
stuff
said
because
specifically,
she.
if you only knew of my relationship with
Who
Takeoff
cares?
before he passed
We
away,
all
damn, I
say
missed those nights.
we all say stuff to just
Hey,
get at people
that
when the time comes because we're hurting. She said that wasn't
Their
true.
music
But
is laced
anyway,
with infidelity and bullshit, ratchet shit. So what do you think? That's what's on both of y'all's mind. I'm not blaming it on either one of them. Only one that I was kind of upset about was Remy Ma and Papoose, and I don't even know if y'all know them, but because
Yeah, I
she was
know
in
them.
prison for a long time, but regardless, their music does not say anything about being faithful. His songs is bringing threesomes. When you go down that swinger thing and the threesomes, we had threesomes and you got dog. But once you go down, that's how Diddy got in this shit. It probably started off with a little freak
Diddy
off.
probably been
No, it gets addicting. And then when you have
forever.
access and money, you start to go places where you probably shouldn't go.
You get bored of the regular stuff when you rich and got money.
So with them two,
partying.
it's nothing that tells me that infidelity was not going to be. That's what they sing and rap about.
It could be.
Look
I
at me,
don't care either way it goes. The only thing I care about is men getting on to her.
I ain't get on to. I don't know nothing.
They've been doing the same thing or they've done the same thing. You can't just pick on her. You
But what
gotta
did she
pick on
do?
him.
She didn't cheat on him.
Picking a
He
side.
cheated on her.
They said that she said that they're saying she cheated on him while she was pregnant with his
That was a
baby.
get back. That was her trying to hurt him. I don't think she
That's
did
what I
that.
said.
I wasn't necessarily picking a side. I don't really care.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't really care either,
Me
but I
neither.
do care about people saying bad stuff about women when.
Well, I have a problem with that statement, man. I got a problem with that
my thing
statement. I have a
is
problem with
like-
them doing it anyway. Fuck with you, how you feel about it. Don't cheat. Like,
Right.
I don't want to. I'm not mad about the blaming. I'm mad about the action. Like, let's fix the wound, fix the sore first. Let's not put a Band-Aid on it and go,
Yeah.
I hate that the men are mad about it. Like, hey, people, what are we doing here? Why are we fooling each other? Why are we playing these games and hurting each other and coming in the game? What traumas are we fucking
I
dealing with?
wish the world were like that.
We need to work towards it.
Unfortunately, it's not. Somebody asked me the other day, well, I had a good friend that was talking to me the other day about a relationship that she's in and out of. And she mentioned why she's not there any longer. Because she said that she does love him, you know, but she doesn't know if he feels the same. And I said, so is it your heart, your mind, or your soul? You know, which are the three? And she said, definitely the mind and the soul or whatever, but you know, the heart, like just not there or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I said, so, you know, what's wrong? What's going on? She was like, well, I just don't think that like he loves in the way that I would love, and the way that God meant for love to be. And I was like, I don't think anybody loves in the way that God meant for love to be.
It's hard, yeah.
I said, our definition, the human definition and the human relationship, love does not exist infinitely. It doesn't. It doesn't exist. I said, you can love someone and not like them. I love a lot of people that I don't like. I respect you. I'll do something for you as long as it doesn't jeopardize, you know, who I am and my character, you know. But I don't want to be around you too often.
How do you, wait, you can love someone you don't like?
Yeah.
Like, so I've had my parents tell me that once before when I was younger. But now I can't. Me loving you is predicated on me liking you, me liking your values, who you are as a person. Now, because I have that choice. So I can't say the same because I have to like you to even get to the love part. The first prerequisite to be my friend is you can't kick puppies. You can't be an asshole. You can't be I don't care what your occupation is. You can't be a jerk. And for us to get to the love, I got to, remember I said on the last spot about friendship, like you gotta be my friend first for me to be in love with you. How could I not like somebody and love them by default maybe? Like maybe if my kid was a jerk, but
I think a lot of times, yes, it has to do with like
children, family, yeah. But then that's forced, and it might not even be love. You're just saying some, you're just saying some shit. Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, like I said, love in the way biblically that is meant, like love is forgiving, love is kind, love is, you know, so forth, so on. You know, all the many mistakes that we've made in life, you know, there's been a higher power that, you know, will ultimately forgive us.
Forgive us.
We may forgive, but don't forget.
Right.
Whereas he throw it off into a sea of forgetfulness, you know. No, we remembering that shit.
He really don't though.
You know, and we don't want to deal with those things because you did it once, you'll do it again.
God doesn't forgive and forget though. That nigga be smiting the whole fucking Bible. He's smiting the shit out of niggas. I know, real. I was reading Numbers the other day, right? And I'm fucking sitting there and I'm like, man, this book is good as fuck, right? It's a good storybook. And I'm like, God turns around, like, I guess they were coming out of Egypt and they were walking through the desert, and every time that they said something like, Moses, you didn't we didn't eat yesterday. This nigga will pop up over this tent in the clouds and be like, hold on, man, your ass is complaining? Fucking send some snakes on their ass. And I'm like, dude. And then we they'll walk a little bit more and they'll be like, we just came out of slavery and bondage and we're running from this and we gonna eat tomorrow? Just asking if they gonna eat tomorrow. God pops back over the tent in the cloud. Man, them niggas, man, fuck them niggas, man. You gonna be by yourself. Smite them, give them some AIDS. Gave them niggas AIDS in the middle of the desert. Forgiving, he done flooded the world a couple times. Like, what is this forgiving shit that people talk about? He done wiped the whole planet out.
The rainbow is God's promise, bro.
What?
The rainbow. Rainbow is God's promise.
You keep making up these
God
promises.
promised not to flood the world.
Look, he ain't like that nigga is not trying to hear that shit. That nigga turned around. Every time you doubted him, it's the church the other day, he said, the pastor said the only thing, that he's not jealous, the only thing that he wants is the worship. The only thing that he claims is the worship. But damn, bro, I can't say I'm hungry and you not fucking give me AIDS.
You're out of context a little bit.
I'm saying that forgiving part, the only person that can don't forgive and being God-like, I think to forgive and not forget or to not get, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. Meaning, like, is it mine or is it his?
Yeah, you're definitely not gonna keep doing what you're doing.
If he don't take no
peacefully.
shit, that nigga don't take nothing.
As he should.
So if he was running Cardi B, or if God was Cardi B, I said had AIDS. And let's.
What?
Oh goodness.
Okay.
All right. So,
please end.
Needless to say, that wraps up today's episode of Speak Easy. If you are on a commission-based salary, of course, then I hope you found this discussion very intriguing and hope you found some help from it, of course, as well. Hey, give me your topics. Give us your topics. Be sure to tune in. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube, as well as Instagram. Check us out. Follow, like, subscribe.
Don't forget, Millie got that bread.
I don't. I'm broke. I have 2 kids going to college.